Howdy guys. I'll start building in just a few minutes. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Hopefully you guys can hear pretty well.
That you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
Right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, you know, I like your...
So we're going to build something pretty cool.
And,
a customer build.
Things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. Drive home.
I have not streamed too many customer things. Or recorded many customer things, but definitely this thing.
5 years, or 3 years maybe. And,
thank you.
And I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million.
Alright. Might as well kind of show off a little bit. And to protect the names of the innocent, I'll just show the side of the box. Like in the picture I posted. Should be something pretty exciting. Alright. It's not something that's never been built on stream before, obviously. So, customer sent some Holy GSUS switches, which he says are already lubed, and I presume that he is right. I haven't actually even felt them. They do, in fact, feel slightly lubed. In fact, I can tell that they were probably tub lubed. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit on the top where the, I don't know if this will actually focus on this, but a little bit on the rim. There's a tiny little bit of lube right there on the rim of that I wiped off with my fingernail. So I'm gonna go with they are lubed. They do not feel as lubed as my Holy GSUS switches that I did myself, and I didn't lube mine too heavy. But that is my AliExpress keyboard. It's actually on the soldering station, so when I go to solder this up, I'll switch sources and you should be able to see that board. But I like it. It's pretty nice. I don't think you can see it right now, right? No, absolutely not. Anyway, so Holy GSUS, lubed Holy GSUS is what's going in this thing. And I'm sure plenty of you actually, anybody who's watching might actually know what this board is just based on the box. And I'll pull the board out. It's got some interesting stuff going on here. I actually like the color, right? So it's an Alice. It's I don't know. I like silver. It's very plain, simple on the eyes, easy to color match things too. Although, irony of ironies, I don't actually have. I don't have very many things that will many key sets, and the customer didn't supply one to put on there, but I don't have very many colorways that actually go well with silver, except for straight beige ones or white on black or monochrome or something like that would probably look okay. And that's probably what I'll put on when I build it. But yeah, I don't know, these things really are beautiful. I was jokingly saying the other day that I can't have one of these because I just stare at it all the time, and honestly right now it's pretty much that way. I think my favorite picks of these are the pink ones. I think that's the color I probably would have ordered this board in if I got in on the group buy. But anyway, before we waste too much time on this, let's actually build it. Put this back where it is. All right. All right, so you guys were wondering, I think, about this AliExpress keyboard really briefly. I'll just cover it real quick. So it has Alps blues on it. It's just a straight AliExpress case. It's got an LFK PCB and plate. The plate, by the way, for LFK needs a lot of love out of the box, and there's no good way to mount that plate to this, so you're gonna have to come up with your own thing. I just put foam runners under it, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. I actually made a video, so let's get to this awesome Alice. So I haven't checked this PCB out. Actually, the customer sent it with another one, and yeah, that one I actually checked that. I actually checked that PCB out. I know it works, so might as well check this one out for him, and we'll build with this one. The Dolch, yeah, okay, so the Dolch is awesome, Heine. It looks cool. They're Taihao caps, so they're pretty cheap, but autofocus struggle is real, huh? Is it not? Oh, the red board. Yeah, so the red board was the salamander that I built in another video on the Twitch channel. Feel free to watch it. That's probably my favorite. That's my favorite board that I own. And it has Alps Browns and that awesome PBT plate, which is interesting. I mean, it's very flexible. Anyway, let's start with this awesome Alice. Yeah, dude, the Browns. You're totally right. Oof is right. They are pretty fantastic. Well, that's a really big bit. Well, all right. Let's remove the weight. I want to see the weight. Number 3 looks pretty big. Yep, number 3. And then these look like number... Those are really tiny, actually. Those don't even look like... Well, they might be 2. Yeah, they are 2. Okay, I'm not going to use the 2 from this set, though. Anyway, yeah, Yeah, you're right. The price tag is really high on the Salamander. Are you talking about the Alice or the Salamander? Wait, at NorCal. It had to have been the Alice, right? Well, no. It was November, right? So, I mean, I went. So, I don't know. Both boards are awesome, and both boards are really expensive. Oh, you played with his Browns. Okay. Yeah, the Browns are expensive, but you can actually find good deals. I got somebody on eBay to delist their 5140 and actually relist just the keyboard, which I bought instantly. So if you contact people, you might be able to get because the 5140s are so expensive. I mean, they post for a lot, but they also they just cost a fortune to ship. Like, that's... Yeah, I wanted to see this weight. I don't think I've never seen the underside of them. So there are some... I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on this. Yeah, you're not. So there are some blends in the PVD coating on the underside of this. They're not extreme. They're pretty minor, but I mean... And on the corner right here, you might be able to see those. Yeah, you can just barely see it. Anyway, that's not stuff you're gonna see. This thing is perfect otherwise. So we'll put that back, right? Because functionally there's no use in having this off. Yeah, we're not gonna do it that way. Mostly because I don't want to cause damage to the board in any capacity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's sandblasted and like clear PVD coated maybe. I mean, I'm guessing with when these were released, even by now you would see, or when they were produced, you would actually see some corrosion on raw brass. It'd be minor, but you'd see a little bit. Because brass, like if anybody's touched it, right, it's just gonna be corroding almost instantaneously. Get it snug. Yep, snug. Yep. So I don't know. I really love this board. They are really pretty and surprisingly heavy, right? For what it is, for how big it is. Tiny, tiny board with a lot of heft. I'll weigh it obviously when I'm done, right? And we'll talk about it. You think there's a coating before blasting? I mean, wouldn't you blast the coating off? Yeah, it might be coated in something else, invisibility. 50% failure rate? Really? Is it that high? Man, that's a lot. I don't know how expensive it is. I mean, I know the process is, it's like a simple actual process. That doesn't mean that it's easy or that the equipment isn't expensive or that it's not some kind of a custom gig. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you sandblast and coat. I have a sandblasting enclosure and I Cerakote stuff sometimes. It's been a little while and I'm actually thinking about doing that and offering it as a service. I have most of the equipment. I have all of the equipment to do it. I just have, there is some equipment that I want to invest in if I was going to do that thing for people regularly. Like a better air compressor is really the thing for me. Because as it goes for me, I have to sandblast really slow based on the ability that my air compressor has to keep up with sandblasting. Sandblasting takes tons and tons of air. I don't know how much you guys all know about different industrial manufacturing processes, but I like that he packed this thing with the PCB in, but with foam everywhere to protect, right? I mean, obviously, the packaging isn't as nice as like a Rama board, right? Or anything Rama makes. But it clearly, they didn't want this thing to get damaged. There's actually a scratch on the translucent. I don't know if it's polycarb or acrylic. I didn't really fondle it too much, but there's actually a scratch on that, and I think it probably has to do with the way it was shipped, so I could be wrong, right? But for the most part, it's packaged really well. Oof. That's not cool. It came out. Anyway, so I'm gonna test this in just a sec, but man, look at that. The thing is gorgeous. I don't know, I have a feeling one day I'll end up with these. They're really pricey. They're great. If only it weren't for the money that TGR boards demand. It's funny because I was relatively new to the keyboard scene when the Jane V2 group buy came. Well, not super new, but pretty new. And I was like, man, maybe I should jump in on this thing. And I was playing around with it, and I probably could have, honestly. I was fast enough, but I just didn't pull the trigger. I was like, it's so much money. Right, I mean, fast forward to now and building a Salamander, that board is just as expensive as the Jane V2 group buy was, pretty much. At least it was for me. Right, I built mine with Alps Browns, though, and stuff. But, yeah. So, I set this guy off to the side. Protect it. I don't know. I should have jumped in on it, right? It looks like a beautiful board. And it looks like everything TGR touches now is going to be like that pricey. Let's get Switch Hitter up and see what we can do about this. Alrighty. So, I don't know, anybody who does this regularly, these angled deals usually make this part just better. Print screen. You know, if you hit them correctly. Pause. Okay. Oh, I already hit those. I already hit those. I already hit that. No. So this angle is totally throwing me off, right? I'm used to holding boards such that this is easy to do. I'm just gonna test all these contacts. Tilde. Oh, I forgot that first split. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just gonna do this. Oh, helps if I make the right contact. Control by default up there. That's cool. So is there a caps lock on this by default at all? I don't remember. Nope, control. Space, yep. Alrighty. I guess I'm just jumping around today. Space. Control. This should be function. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how this is going to be to type on. I know that a lot of people who type on this have a little bit of time requirement for getting used to the angle. Like, I can already tell that it's awkward for me. So the customer did not say whether he wants split right shift or not. I'm not going to split backspace. He didn't say that either. But I mean, why would you? But as far as split right shift, I don't know. I mean, if it were my board, I probably would do it. But a lot of them that I see do not have split right shift. In fact, I'm not sure if I'm used to seeing them that way at all. Plate does, I'm fairly certain the plate is fully supportive of that, right? So, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I thought so. So anyway, switch it or seems good. Yeah, well, straightforward enough. Yeah, this is also another thing that I'm not sure if he would want. Does he want like a 3U, I think you can do right here, right? And a 1U? Or 275 and a 275 and a 1 1/4, or a 3U and a 1. I mean, I'm gonna do, since he didn't say anything, right? I'm gonna do 275 and 125. It just kind of makes sense to me. But I have seen one with a 3U and a 1. I guess if you're a left space kind of person, which I'm not, I'm a right space. I guess if you were, then that would totally make sense. But anyway, yeah, so we know this works. Sorry, yeah, you're right. You're right, 275 and 1. Wait, is it 271? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. Derp. Anyway. Alright. Alrighty then. So I'm gonna undo this guy. Does this use 3 also or 2.5? There's 3 different size screws on here. Alrighty then. Yeah, I figured you must. You seemed incredibly certain. I do not have one, and this is the first one I'll be building. So I have obviously touched a few of them, but not built one, and I do not own one. Like I said, one day. It's on my list, but honestly, I didn't think that I would love TKLs as much as I do when I first got into this, but I do like them a lot, so probably I would target getting a Jane V2 over an Alice. As beautiful as the Alice is, and I do think the Alice is probably a prettier board, especially like I said, that pink color. And I'm not even really that into pink colored things. It just looks amazing. I have to admit, I'm like really tempted to get the Salamander re-anode. Like I saw Nathan Kim's with his Kitsune. Probably butchered that anyway. With the ano on that thing, and it's crazy gorgeous. I don't know if I'd want to get mine done like his, but the ano on it is not, it's its weakest point. So it's absolutely like a thing I'd be considering getting redone, or a thing I am considering getting redone. But I don't know. Put it on the list, right? I actually, before I do that, I have a fake Skog with damage in the corner, and I'm gonna look to try and repair that. Like I think what I'm gonna do is actually sandblast it, have it welded in the corner, so there's a raised point. You have one. Oh no, sorry, that was about this. Yeah, and then I'm gonna have that surface milled down, like probably like 2 thou lower than it is, and there's some imperfections on that. It's a cheap board to begin with, but I just kind of want it to not look like junk. Hey, how you doing, 159? So yeah, I don't know if you were listening, but that pink one that you have, the pink Alice that you have, oof, that's my favorite color of them. But the silver one is nice too, obviously. I don't think I've seen one that isn't nice. Oof. Junky solder residue. That's okay, we're gonna dump. Well, we aren't, because we're not gonna desolder stuff a bunch, or hopefully not at all. Is it? Okay, so you have a fake Skog too, and it's your favorite, huh? Favorite keyboard right now. Wow, what did you do to it to get it to be like that? You prefer it to the Alice. Well, I'm definitely gonna have mine redone, have a new ano put on it, because the ano wasn't clean on it to begin with. So have the damage fixed that came with it. The person that shipped it to me shipped it in a really terrible way, and it took damage. But yeah, I'm gonna have it redone, have that corner welded up, resurfaced. It's gonna cost more probably than that board is honestly worth, but it does seem really nice, and it seems like something I would actually use. Pressure, the blade is friction pressure fit. Nice. That's actually how this AliExpress is, right? Like I put thick enough foam, and it's perfectly the right height to just barely press up on this. Like the case bottom bulges like less than a half a millimeter because of the foam that I put in there. It's pretty nice. Liner. Yeah, I'm curious how you did with liner. I used straight neoprene on that board. Anyway, so we'll get these stabilizers done. Man, it really is a beautiful board. It really, really is. So, I don't know about you guys, but I take all my stabilizers when I order a bunch, or when I order some at all, really, and I like pre-clip everything so that it doesn't take a lot of time when well, I do now anyway. Pre-clip all my stabilizers to remove the legs all in one go. It's just like I pre-cut band-aids to get that same effect, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Yep, okay. 4, 6. 10. Easier to cut. Ooh, I need to catch up on this. You guys are having a good conversation about this, and I need to read it. Yeah, it's way cheaper for any kind of liner for sure. Oof. Yeah, it's super easy to, like, most foam is super easy to cut. I can't imagine that Sorbo, no, it's not difficult to cut. Not that difficult anyway. All right, so you have a fake Skog, right? So tell me what it is, like, why is it that you really like that board, right? Because I think it seems like a really premium case for how inexpensive as they actually were, but ooh, there is very slight discoloration there. I'll clean that with alcohol before I put it all back together. See if I can clean it up for him. Like, what is it that you love about that board? I think it seems really nice, but it is a little bit lighter and a little bit less premium feeling than boards that are, it's better for sure. Like, got TX84, right? I got one of those. I love it. Okay, so just what you did to yours. All right, so anyway, got these, got those. Cool. Got some band-aids. Ooh, perfect. Yeah. 55 grams. I don't know. You guys are talking about some light switch weights for me. I'm definitely a fan of heavier switches. Not all around, right? Like, I like some lighter switches, but generally speaking, I target heavier, like 78 gram. Guess I'm just a heavy typist. All right, so let's get some of these on. Okay, so what do you guys think for this bottom row, right? Which one do you think? I'll do enter while you guys are thinking about it. Since the customer did not say what he wanted. And a couple of you guys have Alice's. No. I understand. I do. I understand not wanting the... So you went with 275 and 1 because you have blank space bars. Okay, so I don't know if he does. I don't have... Well, not in any colorway that I would consider putting on here, at least. For pictures, but... I guess since he didn't define it. And I gave him plenty of opportunities. In fact, he knew I was building this board tonight. By the way, if you're in the chat, say hey if you want to. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know it's still going to be an awesome board either way. So I don't know how you guys, if any of you guys build for other people. I pretty much lay out before they even agree and get my address to ship a board to. Like what exactly is going to happen in terms of how it'll go down, and where I identify like risks or things that you need to let me know if you want something other than me just making an assumption. And one of those things in this case was absolutely that I need a layout, or I need to know exactly what he wants if he doesn't want me to just choose. So so here's a question for you guys. What's the board you are anticipating or wanting to come out the most? What can't you wait for? Or what group buys are you even in? What things are you in right now? I'm not in a ton right now, but nothing I'm like super anticipating yet. But I am anticipating some things. Oh, I hate it when that happens. I feel you, man. Especially at that price, right? I mean, it's a pretty premium board. Man, I saw one of them show up, a Jane V2, show up on Mech Market the other day for, what did that guy post it for? Like $3,500 or something? That's ridiculous. I mean, it's cool. It's not $3,500 cool. Not to me, at least. Split right shift or no? I don't know. I'm definitely not splitting backspace. I am not a fan of split backspace. Typically. Oh, why is that backspace so much longer? That is a very long, or it can't possibly be. I must have just made this long. Should do this on camera, I guess. You have split backspace on it? I don't remember. Easier reach. Yeah, you're right. I don't think I'm going to do it, though. Sub 75 always split, huh? Are you talking about right shift, Umad, or are you talking about backspace? Or always split all the things, right? I think you need way less stabilizers if you split all the things on this board. Cut it a little bit shorter even than it needed to be, but that's okay. It's still plenty enough to cover. Both. Oh no, man, no. I don't even know if that's is that the popular opinion? I see, I don't see a lot of Alice pictures floating out there with split backspace, man. Hold my beer. Oh, I'm not saying there are none. All right. Let me open those. These ones are yours, right? Or one of them is? Okay, so the first one didn't work, but the second link did. Yeah, that's so much splitting. All right. So split right shift for sure. All right, man. All right. You convinced me. I'm not doing backspace though. Full split. Yeah. Full backspace. I think you should. I like full backspace. Unless, ooh, I'm gonna say something controversial here. Not really that controversial. The only way I would be in for split backspace is not if you use tilde over there, but if you use delete on a board like this, because I need my delete key. I use that all the time. It does in fact drive me crazy on boards where I don't have it. What am I doing with my life? How are these so long? Apparently I made these way too long when I cut these ones. Well, I was doing this successfully. That's more than it needs to be cut off, however, it's okay. Double control, huh? Somebody just likes to be in control. Huh? You guys were making puns, so I had to make a pun. Wasn't even a good one, though. I will say. Not good. Control freak? What? Upper right delete key user. Nice. At least somebody else. If I were gonna split it, that's what it would be for me. In fact, now on a board like this, I would actually use my backspace a lot at first, especially because the typos, getting used to the ergo layout or the semi-ergo. I know it's not. All right, some of these I just cut way too long. I'm gonna make a better makes a better system for this thing next time. Oof. All right, that one might be. I might just need a new one for that, but yeah, whatever. I'm splitting. All right, you're gone. There's an easy way to do this. That one's good. I bet it is, honestly. Now, like, I'm not gonna have this guy's board long enough to get used to it, as it were, but one day I will, I'm sure, end up with one of these. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen. When I can find a good deal on one, or, well, I don't think you'll ever find a good deal on it, but when I find a decent deal on one, or when I'm like in a surplus of funds and willing to spend those funds on this thing anyway, you know what I mean. When I don't have too many other boards I want. I don't know, like I said, I haven't actually been in the hobby that long. End of June. So, I think for as long as I've been in, I've gotten an okay start at it, right? I have I have a bunch of other stuff. If you look at my, my Mech Market post for build services, you'll see a fairly good list of my boards. Are any of those customer boards or boards that I don't have anymore? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been big on posting customer stuff. So, but mostly because I wasn't posting on Mech Market trying to get people. So I think from now on, I'll add customer stuff. Not that I don't have pictures of some of the stuff, but some of the little things that I've done for other people. But anyway, man, that one really, this side might be better. The corner does want to come up. Yeah, I have not posted other people's stuff. I'm actually surprised at how many people want build services. That's like there are apparently a lot of people who either do not have the time or patience to do this. So we're doing 1U, is that what we talked about? 1U over here? All right. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It's wide enough, but yeah, that'll cover. And this one's fat, a little bit fatter. All right, we're doing 1. Yeah, you're right about the tools. Yeah, and so I've had people hit me up for lubing, and I am good with lubing stuff. But I guess if I'm gonna do a lube, I always would love it to be in conjunction with a build, or I want it to be something that I think is cool or want to play with that I haven't done yet. Switches are cheap enough that I, though, just buy whatever switches it is that I want usually to play with, even if I'm not going to like them, right? Cost of entry is low. It's not like somebody sending you an Alice and you're not having to buy one to see it and touch it and see if you really like it, which, I mean, let's be real. I knew I was going to like it, but if only Remsky's backlog was shorter. Yeah, does he? Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is the worst part of building. So it's not like I won't do it. I will. It's just, I think I probably charge enough that people don't really want it done unless they're actually afraid of overlubing or don't know what they're doing at all or just aren't confident. Then I think they'll be down. Somebody is in fact purchasing some lubing services from me. Like, they're already en route. And honestly, I charged a fair bit because that's all he wanted. And I'm not going to make a video out of it or anything like that. You might send yours overseas. Whoa. Yeah, I feel that. And actually, so my own lubing of switches, like, I tend to tub lube. Honestly, the coverage is good. It's consistent. You can use a good like the right amount per switch. You're not gonna overdo it. The stems get some lube on them, and you got to clean it off. And yeah, it's not gonna be perfect, but it's not like the keycaps slip off or anything. Am I using oil on mine? So I tend not to lube. I'm not a linear guy. So if I were a linear guy, then I would be using oil. No, I don't. So I do use oil mixed sometimes with tub lubing, but I wouldn't tub lube with strictly oil. I do tub lube with oil the springs. That's it though. I feel like the coating would not be as consistently good because the surface tension is so low on Krytox 103, which is usually what I use as an oil. So I have hand lube stuff. In fact, the very first project I did where I lubed something was Alps Blacks. And talk trash about Alps Blacks all you want, but I have some Alps Blacks that feel amazing. Amazing. Better than good Alps Oranges that I had because I tuned the leaves too. Yeah, anyway, so I'm definitely a tactile guy, and I'll definitely go with tub lubing of like usually 3204 because it's easy to get a consistent lube. Sometimes I'll mix some oil in with it to get a little bit lighter of a feeling. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So let's actually get to lubing these. So I'm actually going to use 3204 on these, and that's what I discussed with the customer. So that's what we're doing. I have some 205. I have some other, I have all sorts of stuff, right? But dielectric grease and PTFE grease and super lube, which by the way, don't use super lube. I'm not a fan. It dries out. It gets gross. It's not worth. And I only know this not because I've had it dry out, but because I have bought a board from someone that had it done, and when I took it apart, it was obvious that it had dried out. So I have a bunch of super lube, and I will not use it for keyboards, even though it's sitting here. Like, unless somebody asked for it specifically, I wouldn't do it. I use it for lubricating things that I just don't care about, that aren't keyboard related. What about you guys? What do you use for lubing switches? I'm curious. Everybody's got their own like technique, their own style of lubing. Ooh, that's a lot on there. Everybody's got their own thing. Look at that, I like cheated. I used ones that were so wide that I could still choose to not do 275 left space. We are doing that, but I hedged. In case the customer like jumps on and is like, nope, gotta have that 1.25 in this position. Yeah, that is a shit ton of super lube. It just wasn't that much more expensive to buy the giant one. And actually I've found uses for it that you just wouldn't expect, or I wouldn't have expected. Like, not even a little bit. So I have a customer board. Okay, so you do this, yeah. So I'm not a small form factor keyboard kind of guy. In general, I want, well, it's not that I'm not a small form factor one, but like I'm not somebody who usually goes with a keyboard layout that cannot support arrows. Mostly, so basically, I guess like 66 would be fine, right? 68, 75s, 68 key, whatever. Like all that stuff would be good with me, but true 60% I'm not a big fan of, and I'm not a big fan because I use the arrows and select blocks of text fairly frequently. And I just can't get used to any kind of function layer layout that does that thing for me. I know that if I forced myself to, I could. So like I'm a huge fan of 1800. I'm a fan of 68. This is one of the few boards where like you're not gonna realistically have arrows that I'm like, oh yeah, that gotta get one of those one day. But I have a customer who's sending me, at some point, we'll do a video on it. At some point he'll send it. He's actually waiting on some parts for his rebuild. But supposedly, I mean, he'll be sending me an E6v2. And so that's a pretty board, and I'm kind of excited about that thing too. All right, so they're wetted. They're good. Oh no. I guess that one could maybe use just a tiny little bit more. Whatever, I'm not that worried about that right now. They're actually pretty good. Yeah. So I'll get these guys lubed up. This will do it on this. Normally I do it on paper. Nah, I don't want to get lint or anything in there. Keep that around though, because I might use it. Staccato did. Ooh, a gasket mount board, huh? Did I not see this? I actually don't remember seeing this. Ooh, that gasket, man, that is beautiful. I feel like I've seen this before. That sucks that it's canceled though. I don't know who was doing the group buy, but was it somebody that hasn't done one before? That's a little bit heavy-handed right there, so I'm not going to apply all that. as well. That's unfortunate that it's canceled. It looks like a nice board. So, you know, I actually wondered for a while, like, hey, I realized that manufacturing, especially just manufacturing in the US is expensive, cost prohibitively expensive for a lot of types of things. And I was like, I wonder why no one, because some of the Korean customs are crazy expensive, right? So I wonder why no one is making boards here in the US. Doesn't the shipping cost offset if you're going for truly premium quality, like the highest quality? Not that you can't get good quality out of other places, you absolutely can, even out of China, right? This is my thought process. This is not my current thought process, but it was. Why aren't people having things made here? The shipping cost is so little that any rework, whatever. And then actually, literally this keyboard is what changed my mind. This AliExpress case, $118 on AliExpress, right? Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But for $118 compared to, well, I don't know. Let's say that the ano on that board is better on the outside, is cleaner than the ano on my salamander, right? Than the ano on that board right there. So let's say that's true, because it is. Bold claim, I know. Sorry, Quad H, you're actually really cool. Your board is really nice, and it is an amazing board in and of itself. However, the ano is actually better. So I understand. Now, there are blems on the inside of that AliExpress case and the fact that that a PCB, or that a plate rather, doesn't actually mount to the top well enough to support it, such that you have to find another way on your own to mount it correctly. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Zakino. Is it Zakino? Zekino? You can just say the latter if it's the latter. Anyway, I don't know about it being a decade ahead of most of the West in terms of quality. That's not true for sure. Job shops for low rate stuff absolutely work incredibly well in the US. They just cost a lot. Oh, it's Zekin. Oh, Zekin's here. Derp. Sorry, man. Everybody says my name wrong. So I try and be sensitive to that. Although you're gonna get it wrong sometimes. So my username is literally I am me, you are you. I realize that's too many syllables, and so people say it all sorts of different ways, and I'm good with it. Doesn't bug me, but I still try not to get other people's. Manufacturing is ahead in a lot of ways. It's not ahead in terms of quality. Like, there are plenty of shops here and there that are good. There's just way more manufacturing there. That was real heavy. Yep, you are correct, Gio. You are 100% correct. If you throw enough resources at it, if they had to make them with files by hand, if you threw enough people at it, it would get done. Well, maybe not if that was actually how they were doing stuff. But, I mean, case in point, right? A lot of people in this industry or into keyboards in general go to the same types of people that coat firearms, right? Both anodizing and Cerakoting, right? And I've done some Cerakoting of firearms. And so I'm somewhat familiar. I'm not like I'm expert, but we manufacture tons of guns here. But if you take the most prolific of all guns, of all rifles at least, right? The AK-47, a lot of those are hand fitted. Cerakote, pretty cheap to do. Ano, not so much. Like to do it yourself, to do it really well, or to do it yourself. I think Ano isn't cheap to do yourself simply because of how much you're gonna do it to get good at it. So you're talking as a shop, at a shop level. Okay, I don't know. Ano's pretty... Like, you run a shop, or you have a shop who does that thing for you for things? I'm curious what your experience is. Oh. Yeah, okay. Custom, yeah, you're talking about custom Ano. Yeah. Custom high quality Ano for a one-off thing, it's gonna be expensive, right? And I would guess at a shop it's because they don't do, like, they have big vats of liquid and use lots of dye. The actual Ano process is simple, and the materials to do it are not expensive, and it's definitely more accessible for you as a home user to get the equipment to do an Ano job on something. Now, I wouldn't Ano like a really nice board for the first time without any experience. But small parts, absolutely. Like to try it. But if you wanted to get a bunch of things anode all at once, your unit price would probably be pretty low. Whereas Cerakote is going to scale fairly linearly per unit. So Cerakoting a bunch of things all at once, not going to be cheaper. Not a lot cheaper. And I know because I actually have applied Cerakote to, I don't know, maybe 20 guns. One day on another stream, or maybe not on a stream, if somebody's actually interested in seeing something that's cool that I've done, that's plain, I haven't done a ton of crazy designs or anything, but that looks really clean, I have a couple examples. Wow, $30. Neighbors will think you're cooking meth. Yeah, that's actually my number one concern about doing it, because I've always done it somewhere else on somebody's property that had a lot of space. Is that when I build a paint booth, because I have all the materials to do it in probably an hour and a half, if I build a paint booth in my garage and open my garage up to ventilate well, luckily I have a garage door on the back of my house, so I could do that. But if I did open my neighbors would absolutely think I was growing something in a sealed chamber with a bunch of light on it so you can see. I mean, I know how I can do it without my neighbors thinking that. And honestly, I could just talk to my neighbors when they ask questions. Or the police, if they came, whatever. Show them my nerdy keyboards. Right. Did I really just lube extra stabilizers? Okay. Why did I pull more out than I needed? That sucks. I have to put these in another container now. You guys can laugh at me. It's okay. Man, if that guy's Cerakoting for that cheap, even though I have all this stuff to do it, I might just have him do it. $30. It's $50, whatever. That's easy. That's, I mean... Plus materials, right? Like Cerakote costs money. I just lost one. Oh, it's okay. Oh, there it is. Yep. Why did I pull extra stabilizers out of the bag? I thought that I counted them out. I must have accidentally dumped some extras. Huh. Yeah, that does not make sense. I actually pulled out one set too many, even if I wasn't going to split right shift. I guess I didn't lube those yet, so it doesn't matter. So I'll set those back in the unlubed pile. Unlubed. Those ones up there are lubed. Like double, triple counting, man. $50 for Model M. You had a Model M? Cerakoted? That's super cool, man. That's really, really cool. You should totally post a link to that picture. Oh, okay. I was like, man, you definitely gotta... C, plastic cube, and full-size Model M are different things. Yeah, they are. Plastic, I mean, depending on the plastic, Cerakote is totally doable on plastic. In fact, I have Cerakoted plastic. I've Cerakoted a Glock. Wild purple? Is the name of the color maybe? You can go on Cerakote's website and look at the colors that they offer. And so wild purple is a cool color, but there's I forget what the other name, there's another purple, not wild purple. And I Cerakoted something for my wife in that. And then I applied a stencil on the side in red. Yeah, you can absolutely mix all sorts of different kind of Cerakote colors. But I would say that that mix, it's going to be hard to get a perfect color match versus like other types of paints that are dyed specifically to color match. Samurai, red samurai feel, huh? That's beautiful. That is crazy beautiful. That is pretty damn perfect. You are correct, sir. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it is more difficult than with paints where you can just mix dyes straight up, right? Because with Cerakote, you're going to be mixing different Cerakote shades to get that, and some shades that you might want to use as a color base have like metallic effects in them, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love those things, but it's true. Yeah, that picture is stellar and is really on point. You are absolutely right. I love that colorway. I would never have assumed that I would like that colorway if I just saw a group buy going for it. It's like the Hemon. Like, it just doesn't seem like a color that I would love on its face, but I know that when I get it, I would love it. Like, I know it. Just the shades of red that I see on keyboard colorways tend not to. It's just like it's actually like with that salamander. That red, I wouldn't have guessed that I would love it as much as I do. I guessed that I would like it, but turns out it's freaking beautiful. I truly love it. And not just because I'm trying to convince myself of it because it's mine and I bought it, right? Like, that's an effect that happens to some people. It's not. That's beautiful. All right. Go over there. Let's pull out the right number this time, guys. Yeah, I don't run into those reds that I'm just like, oh, I gotta have that normally. Unless I see them in person, you know? I just don't. It just isn't done justice by my monitors or pictures on a phone or anything for whatever reason. I'm totally gonna get them. The Hamon. Because, well, let's be real. Bacon. Whatever. These are just gonna go back in if they're not, if I got too many. That's it. That's all there is. Helps if I pull out the screws, huh? How would I pull all those washers out? Although I haven't seen a lot of areas where there would be trace overlap on this. Whatever. Oh man, I'm sorry. Too long for you? Keeping you up, man? Maybe I'm not going as fast as I could. Soaking it in. Oh, okay, well, that's a good thing, losing track of time. Wow. Also, I'm making, like, silly mistakes like that. Derp. See, that's how you know you did not lube them well enough. Actually, they're fine. It just wasn't in all the way. Perfect. I putting this in the right one? No, I'm not, in fact. That's okay though, I'll fix that one. The other one just needs to be moved over. Man, now I'm confused. Well, I'm gonna have to test it out and make sure. Oh, okay. Nothing. Okay. Losing track of time is good, man. That means I'm doing my job in terms of not being too boring of a streamer. All right, boys. I thought I had it right, but now I'm just going to verify it. All right. Make sure we aren't messing this up. We are. Does need to be shifted over. Okay. It does, right? Yeah, it obviously does. Now that I'm looking at it. Jerk. Okay, good. Good thing I checked. Didn't want to be wrong about that. That would suck once it's together. Alright, that should be the only one of those. At least. Couldn't get it wrong if I tried on the other ones, because there's only one position. And I did just choose a random keycap, by the way. To approve it. Are you guys sure it's 2.75U? Thought you were, man. I thought you said it. Does not appear to be. I didn't think it was. Yeah, man, and this should be 1 point. Yeah, I kind of thought that's what we were doing. Right, this should be 1.25, I thought. Here's a 1.5. Right, yep, too big. Okay. Do I want to adjust? I mean, he's not in the room, right? So, still can't say it. That does not sound correct. What am I doing wrong here, guys? Hold on one moment. Can I have a picture, man? So that is clearly a 1.5, a 2, Yeah, okay. It's 2.25 with a 1. Oh, that's a 1.5. That's why. No, it's 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Yeah, I was like, man, I need to look. No, don't worry. I was just like, hey, that doesn't look right. Yeah, so 2 1/4, 1. Yep, okay. 2 1/4, 1 and 1 1/2. That is. There we go. Good job. Okay, cool. We're right. That's okay, man. I was gonna test fit it because this is literally the only place that it could go wrong, right? So I was like, no, checking. Yep, 1. This is 2 1/4. It just needs to be moved over by half a U. And then the other one's 1 1/2. And that's straightforward. Is this 1 1/2 over here? No. Yeah, no worries, man. I was just like, that is not correct. So this should just barely not fit. Yeah, correct. No problem. It gets moved over and then moved over again, and then we're right on track. Man, this is the longest I've ever spent on one stabilizer. But I just fixed this one quick though. Yeah, I was just kind of taking your word for it at first. I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds right. He owns one. And honestly, I mean, I should have looked real close before I even started building it. That's okay though. I looked close before it mattered too much, right? Before I had to desolder the whole board and get it back together. Like that wasn't gonna happen. And so now, guys, this is really obvious. But let's just show it to be clear. Should go in that hole. Yep, it's that hole. Yep, perfect. Okay. We're way better now. Yep. And both go toward the centermost pins. Easy peasy, man. Helps if I were to put these together first, huh? Instead of trying to snap them in after the fact. Oh, it worked. I don't think I've ever done it that way, but probably because I'm going to get my fingers super messy and have to clean this board off. But I won't do that on the other ones. I mean, there's already plenty of lube in there, but those holes. Perfect. All right. Now I'll just snap them together correctly. Get them all in. Clean this board off. Be done with the stabes. Wow, boys, I feel like a freaking amateur after that for a second. It's okay. This is definitely an odd build comparatively to basically everything. And I think it was, trying to remember whose stream it was. Something went wrong. Quakums was watching it and said, something always goes wrong, and he is right. Hopefully that is it for us right there. It's funny, I knew the other side to be the longer, and I was just like, that doesn't make sense that the both could be. It's funny. It's like I've never seen them with an equal side. It's okay, man. To anybody, I don't think anybody is watching who hasn't in fact built a keyboard, but I hope honestly there is, and someone realizes that something does always kind of go wrong. It's literally about being able to roll with it and figure it out, right? And not committing to the build at the wrong stage, right? Like knowing that it's gonna work based on doing stuff like that, like the little fit where you're like, no, I gotta see this. Dry fit, right? Before you solder. Put that in wrong. Oof, way too much on there. Way too much on there. That's okay though. Just don't apply it all on one side or anything silly like that. I guess a bunch of it got on the thing above the actual brush itself. I'm just throwing lube, guys. That's how I apparently feel about this. I'm joking. I love this. This is a great board to be building. If and when the customer sees this, I hope he knows I'm proud of the build. Proud to build his board. And that it will be a well-functioning, well-oiled, see what I did there? Machine. Actually, this one could use a little bit more, and I have a little bit of excess. So what are you guys' favorite layouts, like, or form factor? You guys all 60% people, or TKL people, or 1800s? I don't think I asked that, right? Kind of curious. I saw other people had mentioned some of their layouts, but maybe blasphemy, but I actually like full size. I don't know, I'm definitely converting to smaller as I'm in this hobby more. Like, I don't know if I'll ever really get below TKL as a primary. I could see myself kind of daily driving. Well, one, at this point, I don't think I can see myself only daily driving one board, but I don't think I could see daily driving less than like 68 for sure, though. Like I said before. Okay, those are pretty good. This one, actually. Okay, so now we are going to get these bad boys on here. Now that I got my lube fingers all over his board. That's okay though. That I will definitely fix. Simple, simple. A little bit of alcohol. Much easier when you do both sides, or with the stab wire in it. There we go. Man, soon we'll be soldering at, forever into this. Sorry, guys. That's okay. This is gonna go together quick now. So, luckily, because he's using Holy GSUS, which don't have PCB pins, luckily, this plate is fixed. Otherwise, there would be soldering work to do, which takes quite some time. Actually, I have wipes. Like actual no-joke wipes. Alcohol wipes. Clean all those surfaces that we're going to try and solder to prevent any issues. Because of that lube got on there, and because I take pride in not leaving a mess on a customer's product. Even do the front side. Saying there won't be any, but we can clean most of it away. Alright, I'm going to take my headphones off so I can't hear the music. So I can feel in here. Stabilizers. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's going to be better when we do an actual tapping test on it. Alright, so I'm not worried about the rest of those being right. They're going to be right. All right, now let's get. Hold on one sec. Make sure that I get all of it off my fingers. Anything. Okay, here we go. Start putting these in. And we're going to clean his plate off too after it's all done. But So I'm kind of inspecting these, make sure these legs look good as they're going in. These were not soldered, it looks like. Oh, that one looks kind of dirty. Maybe they were. Get all these stabilized switches in place at least. Solder those in at least. I would not normally do it with this hand. Should probably turn the fan on. And in a moment I will. Great. Okay, so those ones that are in tack down, they look good. I'll turn a fan on now. I will plug the fan in and then I'll turn it on. Sorry, hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I'm excited about that Alps PCB. I really am. Thanks for sending that out, man. Seriously. I do appreciate it. You are the man. I cannot wait. Let's get these two in the correct position. Since they're literally the only choices we can make at this point. More toward the center. Cool. Those ones are in. Yeah, man. Guy selling a PBT Alps plate as well. Yeah, so I see that. That is a PBT Alps plate for the Salamander, and I have one of those in my Salamander. So I would buy another, but really what I'd like to do is buy an Alps in something other than PBT for that board. As much as I like the PBT, well, I don't know, maybe not for that board, but for TKL. I don't know, you know me, man. If you look at all the things I've built, it's all Alps all the time. It isn't. I mean, I have other boards. I am a big fan of Alps, as you know. Some of these actually do look like they may have been soldered before. Dang. You want carbon fiber Alps? Yeah, so some of these have definitely been soldered before. Anyway, so didn't somebody post a carbon fiber Alps plate somewhere, or that they were gonna do a buy for them or something? I could swear I remember seeing some kind of carbon fiber Alps option. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to. I'm absolutely curious. This isn't the only choice we can make. We can make one more choice, and that is to do or not to do stepped caps lock. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to do it, because who doesn't? That being said, I think I'm probably going to put this on. Yeah. Sorry, it's stepped control, right? In this case, not caps lock by default. Carbon fiber Alps Mura. Ooh, that's awesome. Yeah, man. It seems like you're pretty into Alps too. That makes me happy. I like it when there's folk around that are into Alps. Alps is wonderful. Man, this plate is actually pretty tight. Crazy tight. That's actually good. I'm happy about that. Why do steps? No. So by default, the caps lock location on the Alice is mapped as control. I don't know. This is actually a customer's board, not mine. I don't know what he's going to use there. I'm not going to change the mapping. But I am going to put some caps on this to show it off. And I actually wish that I had one of these kind of, but it's not at the top of my priority list. While they are amazing boards, and I do absolutely want one day. There's enough things coming up that I'm absolutely not targeting getting one of these. I'm not saying that I won't get one or that there won't be a target of opportunity that comes along that I just can't pass up, but for now I'm not actively seeking one. If the right price came along, I would absolutely consider getting one. You either do Alps, Topra, or the linears. Okay, so I love Alps. I don't know, man. I bought a FC980C and put BKE heavies in it, and I cannot say that I love the board. I like it. Yeah, some of these have definitely been desoldered. I like it, but there's enough that I don't like about it. And I like heavy stuff, by the way. I'm a heavy typist, right? Those Alps Browns, freaking fantastic. I'm 78 gram Zelios, stuff like that. But yeah, so what is up here? 175 should be right here, actually, right? Fairly certain. Yeah, no, it is. I don't even have to think about it. I have tried 55 gram, and it is nice, despite the fact that I love heavy stuff. It is probably slightly nicer than the BKE heavies. But I don't know. It's a pain. Like, it takes a long time, an extraordinarily long time to lube Topra boards, which I did. And while I really do like that board in a lot of ways, I just kind of can't see why routinely people would spend, I mean, I guess taste, right? It's what their taste is, but I can't see why people would routinely spend as much money as Topra boards are for something that comes in a plastic case, for instance. I know you can get Norbauer cases for a bunch of options, but at that point, are customs not just better? I don't know. I guess it's the same argument people make against Alps, and it's really just taste. Like, Topra isn't really my love. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy I have a Topra board. I like it. It's just never going to be a daily driver for me. Oop. What's going on with... looks like there's a little bit of lag going on here on the stream. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Tell me. Yeah, you use it for the occasion. Yeah, and I can absolutely see having a board around in Topra for that. They're fairly expensive. I'm probably never gonna be all about it. Like, it's gonna be, I have a bunch of Topra boards. I mean, Alps are kind of the same way price wise. They're the thing I like a lot. And so actually I got something kind of exciting since you're on here and looking. Well, I'll show you after I snap this all together and I solder it and get this going. But remind me, if you're still around at the end, to show you something cool that I got that's Alps that I'm kind of excited about. And I'm not even sure. I mean, I'm something that I'm harvesting switches from. I'm not sure where they're going to go yet, but they're cool. And feel free, by the way, if you like Alps builds, to check out the stream that I just did Monday, where I built this with Alps Blues. Yeah, some of these switch locations are incredibly tight on this plate. Gives me very high hopes. As much as it's pain, like it's really good for switch centering on switches that don't have centering, or all PCB mount legs. Oh, I like that he sent me, what is that, 5 extra switches. It's kind of nice. It's nice. All right. Now, we are going to solder these all in. Get our Alice on. Light on the solder for some reason. Are Holy Pandas actually any good? I don't really like MX Tactiles. Holy Pandas are fantastic, actually. I thought they were overhyped until I got my hands on some. And yes, confirmed, at least in my opinion, they're fantastic. Back when the price was as high as it was, I can't understand why anyone would buy them, because while they're awesome and they were really the only option around, I wasn't willing to spend that much. But they are absolutely worth the Holy GSUS price. Absolutely. That happened. Weird. I don't know. I'm not a fan of most tactiles. Have you used Zelio V2s? I guess is a good question to ask. Because they are better, in my opinion. than Zelio V2s. They are. But that does not mean the Zelio V2s aren't good. They're great. I mean, they're really fantastic. And actually, in a way, I absolutely think that Zelio V2s are more appealing to some people. They are more tactile. So if that's absolutely what you're trying to maximize, then they're amazing. But I do actually like Holy Pandas a little bit more. Just V1s. Okay, so V1s, not at all as tactile as V2s. But you're into Alps, so have you tried Alps Browns? Like, that's a good starting question to lead in with. Because if you tried Alps Browns, then I would... Oh man, this is hard for me to say. I would actually say that where those are my favorite tactile switch, Alps Browns. My second favorite tactile switch is actually Holy Pandas. And then if I were to rate it beyond there, really well tuned Alps oranges or Alps blacks, even Alps salmons. I mean, I haven't encountered salmons that were smooth enough to my liking, but that's probably just what I've encountered, not what's actually out and good, right? Because everybody seems to think that salmons are better. I have felt good salmons, but I don't think the salmons that I felt are anywhere near as clean as the number of oranges that I felt. And I felt just a ton of Alps blacks, and I've tuned some really well, so I'm absolutely familiar with the fact that they can feel great if they're tuned right. Have I tried undamped creams? I've tried cream. Did undamped creams come in SGI AT101s? I think that's what came in them, right? I'm fairly certain I have, and I haven't. I can look. They don't sound damped to me, and they're definitely creams. So I'm gonna go with yes. And they are really good. I don't know, I'll look again when I go to look for when I go to show you at the end of this what I built, or what I got that I'm going to desolder and harvest from. I'll show you that board too. It's right behind me in that closet. So that's the door over this shoulder. The solder points on this Alice seem smaller than the solder pads on most boards, which actually Yeah, then I have some for sure. If it's on SGI, then I absolutely have some because I have one of those boards, and they do not sound damped. Yeah, so the pads on this board feel smaller than on most PCBs, which makes the amount of solder that it takes, and it might not be very much or even noticeable visibly, but they take less solder than most boards I'm used to, and less heat. It appears like they actually heat up very quickly. I mean, I haven't changed my soldering iron temp. It's 741 is what I'm soldering at, so it's 1 degree, within 1 degree of where I'm normally soldering, which is about as good as the accuracy on this thing gets. It's actually good, this smaller soldering pads like this. Takes less to heat them up. Probably means that they'll delaminate faster if you leave heat on them for too long. However, it also means that you don't have to spend too long on there, and I'd be willing, but this is safer if you know what you're doing and what you're looking for. So yeah, I've tried the undamped. The creams, they're good. They're good. That board is really good. It just... I actually have a Dell AT101 at my work that is second to that Brown Alps board, or any Brown Alps really, in my opinion. Some of the most tactile Alps switches. And they're not just regular Alps. They felt like any other Alps, just clean, but any other real Alps blacks before. And then tuning the leafs, which took forever, by the way. Based on actually, because that was the first board that I ever lubed, and I hand lubed it, and I did not dry lube it. It has 3204 and GPL 103. So I lubed the sliders themselves by hand with not the slider, the inside of the bottom housing, the slider rails, with 3204, and I hand lubed each slider with Crytox GPL 103, and that board still, after 5 months of using it at work, so fairly large amount of usage. In fact, a larger amount of use than any board I own otherwise. I mean, I don't own that board. It's my work's board, actually. We have rules where I work about plugging in your own peripherals, so we're not allowed to. So I found that old board shortly after I got into the hobby at work, and I went looking, and I found something cool, and it was that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm lubing it up then. Let's get it done. And it took forever. But it's awesome. It's truly awesome. I cannot take it out of there because it doesn't belong to me, and I don't want to ever be accused of like theft or anything. But I have an inclination to mod another one in a similar fashion, just literally to take to keyboard meat here or there, for when I hear somebody say that Black Alps aren't awesome, because people do say stuff like that. And well, they can be very unawesome. They also can be pretty fantastic. It's not like MX switches, right? Like where it's obvious on its face that one switch is better than the other, and they're in current manufacture, so they're all pretty clean for the most part, with the exception of vintage switches. And it's like, this switch is just better than that other switch in these ways or whatever. You can say those things, and mostly people will just be right? But because of the condition of Alps and the mechanisms, plural, right? Because there's different. In one switch, there's multiple mechanisms. Also, there are multiple kinds, right? Simple versus complicated Alps. I don't know. It's hard to say stuff like that, right? Unless you felt like a ton of Alps switches. All right, I won't go too far off the deep end on the Alps train, right? Because I realize most people aren't all about it. Does anybody who's watching now, like, what are your favorite MX switches? Or what are your favorite switches overall? I mean, and don't be shy, right? Because I like plenty of things that I think other people think are mediocre. Or people think are just okay. So the kit came with PCB mount, came with PCB mount LEDs, and the guy did not say that he wanted them installed, so there's no way that I'm gonna do it, right? Without him saying that, because the PCB mount work and nobody wants to do SMD soldering. That they don't have to. You guys can see that the sprue marks on some of these switches are so tall. Almost looks like they're not like flush against the board correctly. It's kind of wild. I don't remember this when I've ever soldered these before. It's like making me want to push down against the PCB as I do this solder, even though I know they're good. There's no way to do that thing that I'm trying to do effectively. Whatever. No, they're mounted. They just look awful close comparatively. Not switch there. So, Trixie, this is how we do this. Oh, that's right. I do actually remember this about Holy Pandas. The stems, the centering pins are actually big enough that they almost interfere. Like they make the switch stand up, look like it's standing up really high. This is actually good. Anyway, so now we're gonna test this out real quick on switch hitter. Right, make sure that this thing is good. Pull it up, clear reload. Step. It's both windows. Is that not soldered? Yep, it's not soldered. It's like, I know. That switch position worked before. Space. Okay. Alrighty then. to do more of what we did before. To the top of this plate, because he had some fingerprints on here already. And then we're going to do the bottom. This is where there was one before. It didn't get rid of those. But it did make this one area a little bit cleaner than the others. But not that one area where there was already a smudge when we started. Or before we started, like when we pulled it out. Okay, anyway. It's good enough. Pretty good. Alright, boys. Let's get this thing together. Or starting to go together. Make sure the top fits in. Oof. Alright, that looks pretty good. We're going to turn our sound off. I mean, I guess we're putting white on black on here. It's probably not what I would have first chosen for a what I would have first chosen for this board. Is this 2.25U? Yeah, okay. Are you joking? Oh, guys. That stab does not seem to be centered properly. That's a pain in the ass. Oh, boy. Wow, guys. Well, this is going to take way longer than I want it to. But there is literally no way to do this. Oh, there is a way to do it. It's just going to be a pain. Because it's so far down, I can do it. Okay. Here we go. So this is in the wrong hole, actually. Something always goes wrong, right? Because it's way down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this switch out, and I'm actually going to use tweezers. Well, I'm going to use a spudging tool to lift it, to unseat the stab, pull it back just a little bit, stick this down, and then snap it back in with that tool. As soon as my desoldering iron heats up. That sucks. That's okay. We have the tools. We do indeed. I do not want to desolder the whole board, so we're not going to. Always clean it, tin the tip. Yep. Okay. This is why you always test it beforehand. Some of these were loose enough to actually pull. No, that one's not. Be careful because I don't want to scratch his plate. Gotta be careful on the underside for the, oh, it is in place. I believe it is. It's actually the other side that's not snapped correctly. How did that come out? Nope, that side is not snapped in correctly. The other one was. Do not want to bend the PCB, right? So we're not going to. So in order to do that, don't pry, you push and lift. That's why we're using a metal tool. Actually, I shouldn't have snapped the other side in because we're gonna do that one too. I don't know if these are narrow enough. They aren't. To go in, so what we're gonna do is ever so carefully, because getting this back in there without getting lube all over the place is a priority. And there is just barely enough clearance to do it. Ooh, boys, board surgery. That side's in. That side's in. Actuates properly. And that switch actually was not in all the way. Almost temp. There we go. Oh, it's actually not the right switch. There we go, that's the one. And there it is. No. Just hitting the wrong one. There we go. Perfect. And this guy. Perfect. Seats correctly. All right. Now we're done with that thing, hopefully, for good. Cool, perfect. Now, plug it in again. Space. face. Perfect. Just to get them all in that area. All right. Not worried about that anymore. Perfect. Let's try this again. That's not what we want, is it? This is what we want. All right, we're gonna pause this. Listen to the stabs. Okay. That one actually sounds good. It just a little bit of wobble. It's all tight down. It's hard to tell with it. When you can see the side of the board, it's always going to appear to be just a lot comparatively, but it looks good actually, and it sounds great. Okay, so now we're done. We're going to snap this on here. All right, that looks good. We're gonna screw these back in, put it together, be done. Top mount goodness. Oh well, it's worth a shot. Okay. Let's get that music going back up. So always listen, that's why I have my headset off. Always listen to reverse the threads to hear that they seat into place on a premium board or honestly on anything. Right? I mean, that's just the right way to do it. Get them all? Cool. Now we're going to snug them all up, but not tighten. Or not snug, rather. We're going to get them to where they make contact. Then we'll snug them good torque conscious kind of way. Oh. Where is the last screw? Was one of them missing? I don't think so. Oh. Oh, it's right there. I was like, where is it? It's hiding in plain sight. Okay, we're gonna snug. We're gonna snug. Snug. Okay, they're all snug. That's pretty clean looking. These are all the same length they are. No, it's definitely not those. These are 2.5, right? Yeah. Or 2 rather. Everything looks good. Snug. 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 Okay. Focus. There we go. All right, guys, it's starting to look like a board. Might as well plug it in. I don't know if there is a 1U. Well, there's a code button, so. I have a, there's no 1.5 windows in this kit. White on black. I mean, I could put Control or Alt there. What are other people doing? I guess they're putting Control and Alt. I'm just gonna put Control and Alt. Well, Control's here though. Nah. Putting Control and Alt. I'm just gonna assume that he's remapping it, and it doesn't matter because these are my keycaps, not his. I mean, I could have put a better set on here, probably. Oh. This computer has sticky keys potential on it. Okay, that's dumb, but whatever. In any event. Whatever. This set looks actually pretty good on it. Actually, I kind of wonder how monochrome would look. I could put monochrome on here. I'm quite tempted to. Nah. This is a basic set. Maybe I'll change it after the stream and post a picture or something somewhere. Just change the alphas, right? Because I mean, it's the same set otherwise. I'm gonna put caps over there because you know what? I do have step control, but I can't imagine he's not gonna change this to caps. What did I miss? Oh. Whoa. How did I not notice that? How did I not remember that there was a double B on this? Totally spaced on that. Ooh, that actually is not bad at all. All right, let's take it over to the other computer. Get his wrist rest going. That is a pretty clean board, boys. So this thing has a little tiny bit of blem right there on that corner. Customer knew that it had it beforehand. He didn't say anything, but I mentioned it to him when it arrived, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I knew about that." I took pictures, clean pictures, but either way, let's man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to type on this or not, like do an actual typing test, but we can. Get this thing real close, 9 inches or so away. And let me mute the music. All right, it's paused. And actually, I'm real curious. Real curious. I'm going to open a typing test. Well, hold on. We'll see. Oh, man. Oh, crud. I can't remember what. Backspace. That's right. Backspace is right here. Oh, so weird. It needs to be remapped. All right, anyway. That's going to be so annoying. I'm going to have so many typos. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be able to... Oh man, I don't even have a user logged in on this because I'm using Firefox. It's crazy. All right. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to do this very well. Nope. Oh man, this is going to be so bad. Ah! All right, so I'm not a very fast typist to begin with, but that was awful. I'm not even going to do more. Anyway, who cares? This is a beautiful, beautiful board. And I think, really, that's what matters, right? So let's get a little listen. We're still pretty close. There's a little bit of switch or spring pinging that I can hear. I mean, they are holy pandas. Oof. Yeah, I'm missing a little bit. My fingers aren't used to the slight angle. But it sounds good. His switches feel good. They are very lightly lubed. No, they're well lubed. It's good. Anyway, yeah. So sorry the stream went pretty long. We had some minor technical difficulties that we fixed. We solved them. We corrected it. They're better now. We don't have these problems. It's a perfect board, honestly. The only thing we didn't solder in, because the customer did not provide the components to do it, was these LEDs. Maybe he doesn't want that. He didn't say anything about the underglow. There was an acrylic diffuser that came with it, and I'm guessing he doesn't actually want that because it will make this board tall enough that this awesome wrist rest won't sit flush. But I don't know how well it would diffuse the light into it. In fact, I have a feeling that it wouldn't. You'd just see the clear line through the plastic. But this is a beautiful board. It's gorgeous. I'm tempted to take a shot of it with all of the white components right here from GMK Monochrome, but this is very simple and it looks very, very elegant. And I would be proud to have this board, and I'm sure the owner is. All right, guys. I appreciate all of your guys' time watching this. If you're going to continue watching it, I'm going to address the couple things real quick that I told Mo that I was gonna show him, right? Just real quick. So I'm gonna move this off to the side because this is really the customers, and I'm gonna package it up probably tomorrow evening when I get home from work, and I'm gonna send it off to him probably the following day, unless he's in a dire hurry to get it. Then I'll make sure that it goes out tomorrow, but I don't think I have time for that. So, things that I wanted to show you. So, an upcoming project is going to mean harvesting the ambers off of this, and maybe another one that I have my eye on. So, there's that. And then somebody was asking before. Somebody was asking something about this salamander. It has Alps Browns. Can't remember exactly what you guys were asking, but it has SGI caps. Oh yeah, we were talking about plate options. So this has the PBT Alps plate in it. So if you guys are actually interested in hearing that, let me get it a Huey away, as people like to say, as Nathan Kim I think likes to say. Not even a typing test. Well, I guess we could do one, although it's probably going to be bad right now because now my brain's trying to adjust to that Alice. Let's see what we get real quick. Oh my God. That was bad, but whatever. Adjust back, forth, whatever. That actually wasn't that much better than with the Alice. Anyway, I appreciate, again, your guys' time, all of your cool comments, watching my stream, and I hope that you guys have a great night. And that you watch me next time. My plan is absolutely to start, at least for the next month or so, I'm going to skip one. So for a couple weeks at least, do Wednesday evening stream, and then eventually I'm probably going to switch it to Monday. I may shuffle the rest of my schedule around and move it to Tuesday and do something else. But either way, it's for the next couple weeks, it'll be Wednesday, and then it'll likely change to Monday, or Tuesday. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that you guys had a good stream. So give me any feedback or comments or whatever. I'm going to post this on YouTube, and I'll see you guys later. All right, thanks. Bye.